This is part B of session 1 with Michelle Smith. So just reading my counselling notes. So under the background, I've written that she's juggling work and a 15 and 16-year-old children. One child's doing the HSC. Her hubby's working long hours and isn't very supportive at the moment. She feels that she's getting burnout and that she's ultimately got 2 weeks to make a decision whether to continue with 2 subjects of her CSA in relation to accounting. So the presenting issues is that Michelle wants to be the best accountant that she can be. She's stated that she realizes that the kids aren't always going to be at home and that she needs to focus on her career, and basically she's got issues in relation to speaking with her husband and also in relation to speaking with her employer. The goal is the main goal is to, I've written, to determine whether to continue her CSA. And then other goals are to work with her children to help her out in the home so she can achieve that goal. There's also a goal in relation to having a conversation with her hubby in relation to how he can assist her, and also some goals just to facilitate that ultimate goal, such as talking to the employer. And so topics that we've discussed having a conversation with her husband, also discussed basically, engaging the services of a cleaner. We've discussed the possibility of cutting her time at work and having a conversation with her employer in relation to that. And also, just doing some things about mindfulness and self-care for herself so that she's able to fulfill those goals, and the outcome is to facilitate our ultimate goal for her to achieve that goal of doing the 2 subjects. So interventions, I've written down, some parenting techniques. Maybe we can discuss those in future sessions, so that her kids can help her out more around the home so she's not so stressed and burnt out. Also, in relation to, promoting independence in the kids in doing that. Also for her to have some kind of downtime and time for herself and maybe look at yoga or meditation or something like that, and also utilising the assistance of her husband and the employer to help her achieve those goals. So in the next session we're going to discuss how that goal has been facilitated, in that she's made the decision that she wants to do the subjects. We'll touch base as to what's kind of going on in the family, whether the children are helping out, whether she's been able to discuss things with her husband, and also, how she feels she will communicate with the employer in relation to cutting down her hours, and also in relation to seeking some outside assistance such as cleaning, to help her achieve her goal. And so basically with the counselling plan, I've just got client details. Michelle Smith, she's 45 years old. She's training to be an accountant. She's a mother of 2 children and married. So they're just some general background details I've written down there. Involvement of other agencies, referral information, and I've written no referrals. Special needs information, there's no special needs identified. She's able-bodied. She's she doesn't have any disabilities which we would have to consider and take care of for her to, you know, achieve the counselling sessions. Safety or reporting issues. There's no issues such as self-harm or domestic violence or, you know, harms to herself or others. So I've put none reported. Recording of clients' own identified priorities. So her priority is to determine whether she would do the 2 extra subjects, which is intimated that she will. And then the priorities such as working out how she will achieve that through talking with her husband, talking with the employer, talking with her children, and also seeking some outside assistance and some assistance for herself, such as meditation or yoga. So observe client requirements. I've written there's a requirement to make a decision quickly, given that she's supposed to start the sessions in 2 weeks. And so basically a decision to make that decision really, a requirement to make that decision really quickly. And then the goals is to facilitate 2 subjects of the accounting, to make also a goal to deal with her family in relation to her children and her husband, and also a goal to have a conversation with her employer or communicate with her employer about, you know, cutting down some hours. Monitoring will include the 3-week monitoring review form, which we've discussed in the contracting session. So that's where we're at with monitoring, and that's the counselling plan. In relation to what worked well, so the client was able to come to a decision, which was what she wanted to achieve in that session, so that went well. What didn't go well was probably the fact that we jumped to a few other topics when it probably would have been best to have more of a conversation around that main goal about doing the 2 sessions. I kind of felt like we jumped all over the place, and maybe I should have directed her, use directive questions so that we could just focus on the goal and get there a bit more quicker than what we did. So what I should have done is maybe, as I said, maybe redirected the client to focus on one issue at a time rather than kind of going off in tangents. Areas to develop, I think communication. I think basically needing to work on paraphrasing, open questions, active listening, and all those kind of communication areas. And how I would develop that is through speaking with my supervisor in our supervision sessions. Also maybe talking with some of my peers and see how they kind of handle situations in that respect. I could do some extra refresher courses in relation to that, and also I think you know, in time with general practice, that would probably facilitate that as well. Thanks.